Hi everyone, and welcome to the live demo of Boma. My name is Charles Clark, and I'm joined here today by Liz Stubborn.
Hello everyone.
Hi, so just in the next 45 minutes, give or take, we're just going to take you through the Boma platform and just run you through how it works and really show you what you can do with this simple yet powerful tool. So just to refresh on what Boma is, so it's your multi-channel platform which enables you to send campaigns out across email and all your social channels. You can also do social ads and have lead capture pages as well. There's also a free content library. So this is libraries full of articles which you can use to send out to your clients, and you can also customize them. And there's also a free image library. So this is over 600,000 free images which you can use in all your campaigns. And lastly, there's a really powerful analytics element as well, so you can understand exactly how your campaign's performed. So I'm going to hand over to Liz in a second, but do stay tuned, because at the end of this demo, we'll be announcing the coupon code for our pre-Christmas special, which will give you a 3-month free subscription. So Liz, I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Charles. So yes, definitely worth hanging on for that, because Boma makes it super easy to market your bookkeeping or accounting practice. And as Charlie said, whatever channels you choose to send to, Boma auto formats for you. It's all done for you. But not only that, you get free images and access to the content library to kickstart your campaign. So let's start just briefly with the account setup. So on the Boma dashboard on my screen here, you can see that there are a number of things here you need to do. So firstly is connect your social accounts. And if I click on that, you can see we've connected Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, personal LinkedIn company, and Twitter. And obviously you may not have all of these. Connect the accounts you have. It's worth setting up a company page if you don't already have one. Obviously, for the purposes of SEO, the more content that you're putting out there, the more links back to your company. So it might be the staff that work for your firm that can then share company updates, the better. And in this social media page, you can also see linked accounts. And at this point, you can link to Xero HQ. Linking to Xero HQ means that you get a sync between the two, but also gives you access to the content library, which we'll show you in a minute.
Just on that content library, if you don't have HQ, that's fine. If you're still a Xero customer, we'll just, if you just let us know that you are a Xero partner, and we'll connect up that library for you.
So next steps are importing your contacts. Obviously, you can't deliver email without a contact list. The easiest way to do this is with a CSV, and all the information's here on how to do it. So email, first name, last name in that order, and you can see a valid example by clicking there. You can either select it from your computer and upload, or drag and drop. And once you've uploaded them, you can add a tag. And if I go into contacts, we can see within my contacts, if I just click randomly on one, by adding a tag, it gives you the option to segment your database later on. So if you want to send content that's really relevant out to your audience, then using those tags means that you can identify a group of people. So it might be that you have a lot of clients who are in pharmacy, for example, or they're interested in, it might be a stage of life, or it might be a vertical or across small business. Whatever it is, use that in order to create that tag, and then you can send them information that's really relevant to them. Back on the dashboard, next thing is to set up your brand logo and colours. Now, Boma makes it super easy without the need for designers and marketing design skills, etc. Simply upload your logo by clicking here. You click on this button here and upload your logo. And then Boma pulls out the colours to create the beginnings of your email template. So you can see here that my logo's got yellow and blue. These are the suggested colours from Boma. If you do know the hex code, you can put that in there to make it absolutely accurate. Otherwise, click on the buttons here. So for example, for the button, we could switch that to a blue, to a red, but I think that the yellow looks good, and that means that in my email, I've got the beginnings of a template for a really professional looking email going out, and you will be able to customize this as you go through. Next stage for email setup is just making sure that you have put in all your details so that you comply with global email legislation. Make sure you have a return address. This name here you can change per email that you send out. So you can put your default setting here and change it as per when you go into each email, and then add the address of your social accounts so that the icons sit at the bottom of your email, and that's obviously encouraging people to then click onto your social accounts like your Facebook page and follow you or like your content. So the best way to do that, if you're not sure what the address is go into Facebook, go onto your business account and look at the URL, and then you'll be able to find that address and type it in. So we've put in Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and then put your web address in here. So now we've done all of that, we'll start by looking at how to send a campaign out. So the first way to do that would be, there are a number of ways, and we're going to look at clicking on the new campaign button and all the things that Boma allows you to do. So you can send an email newsletter, a social media update. If you click on the button below, you can send email and social. You can create a landing page, and that's in order to bring in new prospects and capture leads. We can show you that in a minute. And a social media ad. I'm going to start in the content library. So if you look at the content library, this library was created for you to send to your audience, for accountants and bookkeepers, and it's the kickstart of your campaign, really. Most of the content here is written by Xero, so it's really high quality, and there's new content added all the time. So for example, access to finance, funding your growth. Let's look at a preview. You can see how that will look across email, and you'll be able to customize this as you go through the campaign flow. And if you look at it on Facebook, you can see that Boma has made a suggested comment for your Facebook post and even suggested some hashtags. Again, we'll be able to customize this. And then obviously across all the social platforms, you can see what that will look like. So if we click, okay, I'm happy with that, let's deliver. Click on deliver to my audience. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to send it to all my channels. At this point, you can change the name, but that's not seen by your recipient, so I'm going to leave that as it is. And then the first step is really, it's just confirming that we've chosen this image and this text. I'm going to change and customize this in the next stage. So now we can see down the left-hand side here, Boma has selected all the channels, and we can choose whether to send to all of them or take one out. LinkedIn, my LinkedIn personal, Twitter, Facebook, and as an email. So if we start with LinkedIn, you can see here that Boma has suggested the post. You can change this. So for example, access, etc.
So the nice thing about being able to customize it for each channel is that you might talk to your audiences slightly differently. So on, say, LinkedIn, for example, you might want to go more long form, maybe add a few thoughts in there if you had them on this particular topic. Whereas Twitter, it's much more, it's sort of, you're limited by the amount of characters you can use, so you might want to keep it very short and snappy. So the ability of this stage here is just to customize it for each channel and the audiences that you have on these channels.
Yeah, so Twitter, you can see there is a counter here. So the more text you type in there, you can see that counter counts down, so you will know exactly how many characters you can put in. Facebook is a bit different. I actually pasted the comment in there. Facebook, because of fake news, requires third-party apps not to post on your behalf. So sorry, I said that a funny way around, but it requires you to post directly. So the workaround was that I actually went into LinkedIn, copied that post, and pasted it into Facebook. And you can obviously write your own. So Facebook, you might be a little more relaxed than your LinkedIn post, for example. You can choose what to write there. On our email, select the audience you'd like to send to. So using the tags that we talked about earlier, we could say, well, we actually want to send these to our specific clients, perhaps our VIP clients, or deliver to all contacts. Select the template. Under templates, you can see that there's a number of options here. So Boma gives you access to your previous emails, and it might be that you've sent an email in the past that you're really happy with the look of, so you've done a lot of work on that, so you can choose that. select and edit. The theme templates are a little more sophisticated, and they're great for sending a newsletter where they've got space for images and text. For the content library, the instant templates are a great way to start, and in fact, the content library, you use either previous or instant. With the theme templates, you need to write from scratch. So we start with Big Content Basic. And you can see that the logo and the colours that we chose earlier in our account setup have been brought through into this email, and then you can customise your email for your recipients. So there's the email. You can customise this as much as you like. So over on the right-hand side, you can see the editing tools. Under settings, I don't tend to change that, but you can change your fonts, your colours, your area width, etc. Under rows, this is the architecture of your email, so you can bring in new rows. Might be a block of text or an image and text. And then under content, you can see that you fill those architecture rows with the content that you want to send. Within this email, I want to start by adding a personal greeting. So I'm actually going to type into the email, start by adding a personal greeting in a space. Use the merge tags and select first name with a comma and return, and that will pull the name out of my contact list so that it's addressing each recipient individually. I might sort of not agree with that last bullet there, so for example, I could delete that off. And then I do want them to give us a call and talk to them about attracting the right funding. So I'm going to bring in a row down the bottom. Then I need to fill in the content that I want in that row. So into the content panel and bring text. Actually, no, I'm going to bring a button in. And on that button, it's then just a matter of highlighting the text. Contact us or make a time. And over on the right-hand side, you can see that you can then choose what action you want that button to take. So it could be open a web page, which might be your website Contact Us page, or it could be, for example, send an email, and that would be obviously your email, the subject, which is attracting the right funding. I'd like to set up a time to talk to you about our growth plan, for example, and that will then open up an email in your recipient's email browser. You can see that your social icons are down the bottom, and we set those up earlier. And then another thing I'd like to show you is we talked about images at the beginning. So say we wanted to change the image in this email. Click on the image, and on the right-hand side you can see Change Image. And that brings you into the image browser, and you've got a number of options here. So you may have images of your own that you want to upload, and you can do that by uploading. You can search free images by just typing in a search term, hitting return, and then searching from over 600,000 free images. So let's choose this one. Select it and put it into our email. So the email editor takes a little bit of practice to work around, but it's really intuitive, and you'll find as you start sending emails out that you get really used to what suits you for your business and how you want your images and how you want your social posts and your emails to look. So when you're happy with your email, click Save and Close. And then the final step here is to preview. So I'm going to click on the preview button and say, well, that's what my LinkedIn post looks like. Look at my Facebook or my Twitter account. That's what your tweet will look like. Your Facebook preview, and finally, what your email will look like. One last thing within your email is you can change also the subject line and the preview description. And this is the first thing that your recipient will see in their inbox. So it's worth looking at this because you want to obviously encourage them to open your email. So make sure that that is compelling. You can also send a test email to yourself or someone in the office to make sure that you're happy with the content. And then finally, schedule delivery. And you can choose to either deliver that immediately or schedule it for a specific time. So it might be that you've got a busy week ahead and you're going to send a couple of campaigns out and plan them in advance. Could be that it's got very late in the office the night that you're working on this. Send it for 10 o'clock the next day. Don't send it at 10 o'clock at night. So make sure that you maximize your engagement with that post by choosing a time that is going to really suit your recipients and your business. So let's say we're going to send that at 10:15 on the 9th and schedule. So we go back into the dashboard, you'll be able to see the campaigns that have gone out. And if you go into one of these campaigns, actually that's probably not a good one to choose. I'll choose one with a few more channels, plan for your business. This is a demo account, so you're not going to see huge numbers here, but you can see Boma will give you the impressions, comments and likes, shares, etc. across your channels that you send it to. And under your email, you can see the engagement. And if you click on the buttons, when that opens up, you'll see how many of those went to who. So you'll be able to see who engaged with that content, and that will help you make decisions going forward for the next campaign. If they've shown a particular interest in certain campaigns, then you might want to send them more of the same or add on to the work that you've done to date. So the next steps are, so that's how to send a campaign through the content library. The next step I want to show you is landing pages. Landing pages are a really great way to build your audience and generate leads. And it might be that you're using them for a number of different uses. So it could be that you want people to sign up for your newsletter. It could be that you're promoting an event or a special offer. Boma allows you to create a landing page in order to do that. So I'm going to look at, just close that tab down, look at a landing page as an example for something that you might do as a promotion. So say, for example, you want to offer 1 free hour's advice in order to, and promote that out to a new audience in order to gain new prospects and drive growth for your business. We'll start by designing a landing page. And this is what it looks like on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side is the text that you can type in and decide what you want that landing page to say. So in this one, default obviously needs email, but we're going to say, well, we actually also want first name, last name, and perhaps their phone number. Now this is just an example, but I've called it Manage Super Fund Advice, book a time with our team for 1 hour free advisory and we'll make the coffee. When you're happy with the way that landing page looks, click Published and Save. And then you'll see at the top that there is a URL here, and you can use this in a social post, which will bring people to your landing page. When they've submitted the information into this form, you can also change the detail that they see afterwards, the post submit form. You can also send them to a custom page. So if it is book a time, for example, you could send them to a Calendly link or an appointment booking page. You could also, for example, offer a downloadable guide. So it might be a tax guide. By putting in their details, you've then got a bit of gated content and you send them to a page where they can access a PDF downloadable ebook, for example. Look at creating a campaign to use that landing page. We'll start with the new campaign button, and I'm going to create a social media ad. So Boma allows you to create ads across Facebook and Instagram, and this means that you can reach a much broader audience than the current fans and followers of your social media pages. So click on Facebook. I'm going to make this just Facebook. Choose a location. So if we go into people that are from 30 to, say, for example, they're probably going to be a bit younger if they need some advice on that fund, to 42. search some interests, and it's worth noting here that people are on Facebook looking at things that interest them. They're not necessarily looking for you. So choose some interests that would apply to them. Now, this could be anything from rugby. And you can look at your current audience to help build a picture of the sorts of interests that these people might be interested in. They might be small business owners, interested in small business. There might be a particular restaurant that they've shown an interest in, and Facebook will analyze the interests of everyone online, the pages that they've looked at, for example, the places that they've been online, in order to categorize interests for any particular individual. Set your time frame. So I'm going to set it to start tomorrow and run it for a week. And running it for a week's a good idea, because then you can actually look at how your campaign performed. If it performed well, run it again or make tweaks. Put a budget behind it, save, and on to the next steps of creating your content. So we've said that we're going to offer them a free cup of coffee with our hours free advisory. So choose an image that works there, click save, and define the content. So,
and the key with this content is to make it engaging. So see, this is what people will see when they go into their Facebook or Instagram accounts. So it doesn't have to be very long. In fact, shorter is better. Just be very, very straightforward and have a clear call to action. So it's very clear what you're asking them to do and maybe what they will get as a result of clicking on the piece of the ad in this case.
So obviously, you could write this probably a little bit better, but for the purposes of this example, you can see I've put in a headline, I've chosen a call to action, a little bit of text into the comment about what the offer is, and then for the website URL, we're going to go, I've opened my Boma account on 2 tabs, so I can go back into the landing page that we created, copy that URL back into our ad, paste it in there, and then that button, the Book Now button, will take them to that landing page, and whoever fills that form and their details will be automatically added to your contact list. And that means that you'll then be able to go out and send a campaign or contact them individually in order to follow up on that promotion. So when you're happy with that campaign, comment. Last step is to preview and then deliver. The next thing I wanted to show you in Boma, so there's obviously a number of ways you can do it. We've looked at seeding a campaign using the content library, we've looked at social ads, and we've looked at landing pages. I want to also show you another feature of Boma that makes sharing content super easy. So for example, you're starting to write a blog post, or you've seen an article that you've read online and you think would be really really valuable for your audience. Click on New Campaign. Let's send this, for example, as a social media update. You can call it whatever you like there. And in the next stage, you can either add your images and text here, or we could start by sending out a website URL. So this is obviously, again, where you've written your own blog or you've seen an article that you think your recipients, your audience would be interested in. So click on website URL. Now I'm going to go to Boma's blog. You'll find, by the way, loads of interesting information here about marketing your firm. Go on to the article that you want to share. And when you're in there, select the URL, back onto Boma and paste the URL, and you'll see that Boma creates a campaign for you from that web page. So it's taken the hero image out of that web page, and it's taken the headline and the first paragraph of text. And you'll be able to edit that as you go into the next steps of your campaign flow. And this just means that in order to start sending campaigns out on a regular basis. You don't always have time to write it, or it might be that you have written a blog, but you want to easily share it across your social pages, but it does take a bit of time to reformat the image across Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn. So using Boma, all the auto formatting is done for you. And also, if you've seen other articles online, Boma goes in and creates that campaign just like that. So on LinkedIn, that's obviously going to be quite a long intro paragraph. I'm going to take that out, and then you can change the post comment per the channels. So that's how you'd use Boma to send your campaigns out. Have there been any questions, Charlie?
Nothing coming in so far, but we've had a couple of ones from previous demos that we've done. One last week was asking us about analytics, and as Liz said, you can view them in each campaign. In particular, one thing I will note is that they take a little bit of time to come in. So if you send out an email campaign or a Facebook campaign, I would usually give it about half a day to 24 hours, and then you'll start to see the information come in. Particularly on emails, as Liz pointed out, you can see some of the key metrics. So open rate and click rate are really important. And if you do see people who bounced or unsubscribed, you can actually click in and see who they were, and then decide if you want to keep that email address and either delete it from your contact list, or maybe if you know the person, you could give them a call and say, look, has your email address changed, and you can update it. On the dashboard itself, you can see just down the bottom right-hand side, we've got a bit of a placeholder for the analytics. So you can see the individual analytics on the campaign page, but this will basically be your global analytics, and it'll have information on all your recent campaigns by week, by month in the past, so you can get an idea of how you're tracking. A couple of other things to note. If you have any questions about using Boma, there's a couple of ways to get help. So the first way is to click up on the right-hand side of the menu, and you can see down there we've got FAQ, marketing resources, and video tutorials. So FAQs are basically frequently asked questions about Boma. So if you've got a question about how to send a Facebook campaign, or how to use email, anything possible that you can do in Boma, we've got articles on there. So you can go to the FAQs page and then basically type in your question, and up will come a range of articles that will help. If you don't find the answer you want, then we're hovering at the moment over that blue and white button. That's the live help desk. So you can actually type in your question in there and send us a message, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly. Or you can also request a demo, and we'll basically set up a live video call, and then you can actually, we can sort of take you through it in particular. And I suppose a couple of other elements for help is the video tutorials. So on that same page, so this basically has a range of short video tutorials that Liz and I have recorded, and they'll take you through the most common elements of Boma, whether it's setting elements of Boma up, and we've also uploaded a whole series on marketing. So this is, they're about half an hour to 45 minutes long, everything from branding to your website, how to do SEO, get found online, thought leadership, social media, and so those are also available anytime for you to use. We have just had one question come in, and the question is the content restricted? And I write for an horticultural magazine. Can I use one of the articles themselves? So you can use our articles if you were doing a post. So if you were doing a post from Boma and you wanted to send out a newsletter or a social media post, yes, you can very much definitely use one of the articles. If you want to, I imagine you're asking, can I actually put it into their magazine? I would say yes, but you have to attribute it. So especially with the zero content, you can pop it in there, but you definitely have to attribute it in there for their copyright that it is written by Xero.
Yeah, so the content library is obviously yours to use and customize, but any other content that you find on the Boma site, for example, or any other site online, just make sure that you are doing the right thing by attributing back to the source. Brilliant. So 3 months free, we promised. So we have a code for that.
We do, and I'll put it actually into the comment section. But just while you're listening, it's Boma Web 3M, and I'm just putting that into the comment section now. How you use that? If you go to the billings page, Liz. So if you are on a free trial for Boma, or you've just recently signed up, you go to the billings page, and when that loads up, update subscription, so you can see coupon down the bottom. So if you put in the Boma Web 3M along with your credit card details, so your credit card details are needed to activate your account. You won't be charged for them, and you can cancel at any time. But this will basically give you 3 months free subscription. So this is a special Christmas offer, and it expires on the 31st of December of this year. So you've got a little bit of time before you need to, before it expires, but we definitely recommend, if you're wanting to get your marketing sorted ahead of 2019, good to get into Boma now and start teeing up your Christmas and holiday emails so you can enjoy your time off without worrying about what's going to go up.
Yeah, and as Charlie said, make the most of it. While you're on your trial, make the most of sending campaigns, using the campaign button. So give it a go to send a newsletter, social media update. If you have got, you want to try and get people to sign up for your newsletter, for example, you can create that landing page that says sign up for news and advice from us, and then use that URL in one of your social posts to share that. You can also create a button on your website with the same URL to bring people into your Boma contact list. So that's all from us. Thank you very much for joining. I noticed that we have got just another couple joining right now, and that may be that you may have had the wrong time, but don't worry. We have recorded this, so if you have registered for this webinar, we will be sending out a recording of that you can watch in your own time. Thank you very much, and any questions, do let us know. It's great to have you with us.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you again maybe on another demo.